Good morning. Good morning, all you peeps out there. Good to be here. Good to be on this side of the dirt. Something to be grateful for, right? So, super excited to be here today. Good to see you. Hey, Sarah. Hi, Tracy. Good morning. Good morning to all of you that are jumping on this morning. I am um, excited for our topic today. And we're coming off of, if you've been following, we're coming off of two episodes of compensation for managers compensation. So if you have not tuned in to those two previous Mindset Mondays and you're interested in what that could look like, some ideas on compensation, context around the compensation, I want to encourage you to go back and listen to those Mindset Mondays regarding leadership compensation. And so, what brought me to our topic today, which is a growth path for our stylists, is that, okay, we talked about a growth path for our managers. And what about what retains our team? And, the majority of the material that I get when I come on here week over week is um, is from my coaching clients, are the issues, the real life issues that we're having to deal with. And so my content comes from what is going on out there in the country because I have clients all over the country. And one of the biggest pain points as owners that I'm hearing is staff retention, company growth, growing year over year. So last year in the same month, are we up or are we down? Are we down year to date? We're moving into quarter four, and also hiring great staff. So these are the pain points right now that people are talking about. It is real life, and it is a struggle and a challenge. And for those of you that have followed me for a while, know that I always go back to this idea that running our business is layered. It's like a 7-layer cake, and every layer adds to the flavor or the failure of the cake. And we have to develop each layer separately, but that it all comes together to meld together that creates this thing called culture. And this is how we operate under our roof. And so I just want to do a shout out. Good morning, Paula, Michael, good to see you. Anna and Ismail, Ginger, good to see you. Jennifer, Gio, good to see you. And Magic Girl joined. Con, good to see you. It's so good to see all you guys. I'm happy that you have joined in today for our topic, which is growth plans, a growth plan for your team. And to build a thriving company, you need to have staff. That's the kind of business we're in. We're in the people business. And when I say people business, a lot of people think, well, we're in the client business. Well, we are. We need clients. But if we don't have staff to take the clients, we're in trouble. You know that, and I know that. I've been doing this a long time. So we need staff, and we need staff. Not only do we need to have staff, but we need staff year over year. So retention is more important to our company growth than anything. If we don't have our staff staying with us and continuing to build, our success is dependent on our team's success. So if you think you only have one set of customers, meaning the ones that are coming in and paying, you're wrong. You have two sets of customers. One of them are your staff. Those are clients too. They have to be happy too. And just like our clients that come in and pay to get their hair services, skin services, they want to see a path for themselves. Where am I going with my hair, with my skin, with my nails, whatever it is. Your staff want to know, where are they going with their life? And so we have a really big responsibility. And I think it's like great that you would work on the interior of your business and it looks beautiful and that helps. But if there's not great leadership and a great path that's laid out for your team for growth, then you may be in trouble. And when I talk about a growth path, I'm specifically referring to compensation packages, and I want you to listen to that verbiage really carefully. It's not how much do I pay? Oh, I pay 40%, 50%, 60%, which by the way is too much, but that's a whole nother topic. It's not about what you pay, it's about what you offer your team for working there. So it takes part of the layers of running a successful, sustainable business is great leadership and a great growth path. So financial growth path and a professional growth path should somebody want to do something above and beyond the technical skill that they're doing, i.e. become an educator, become some sort of leader, become a mentor, go to the beauty schools and do outreach, be in charge of photo shoots, do fashion week, whatever those pieces are there opportunities, philanthropic work? So are there opportunities to go out to give back to the community? All these things. So I want to talk specifically today about compensation plans. And I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, kind of like if you listen to my, the manager's compensation plan, I didn't tell you how to compensate the manager. I don't know your financials. I would never give anybody advice, nor do I think anybody should take advice from anybody about how to compensate if they have not consulted their financials. So I'm going to give that disclaimer. So I'm not telling you how to compensate in this episode. I want to give you a different way of speaking to compensation that'll give you an advantage when you are looking at building your retention and you're looking at hiring new staff that sets you apart from the rest. I've done a lot of Mindset Mondays on optics and not how we think we're doing, but how people think we're doing, how people view how we do things and how we come across. So optics are a really big part of decision making for your team and also for us as consumers. How we view something either has us feeling great about what we're doing and we're staying where we are, or optics might have us feeling weird about something and maybe we don't feel that connected to where we are. So it's no different when we're talking about the optics of compensation. And I will tell you that you may be one of these businesses, and I'm not judging it. This is, and I feel, an older way of thinking and doing business, which is when somebody comes to interview with you, you'll talk about compensation and say, I offer this amount of money. And what I want to get across today is how do we elevate that conversation instead of I pay 40, 50, 60%, is let's talk about the compensation package that our company offers. And when I say compensation package, it does include what you're actually paying, but it also needs to include everything that you offer that you might not think is a big deal because maybe you've been doing it a long time and to you it's just what your business does. But there's a monetary value there. You're paying money to offer healthcare. You're paying money to offer education. You're paying money for any bonuses that you're offering, whatever that looks like. You're paying money for administration when it comes to 401ks or retirement plans. All of these things create what most industries call a compensation package. But for some reason in our industry, we minimize what we offer by just using the verbiage, we pay some certain percentage. And I want to elevate that conversation, and I want us to think bigger and think how we can have a different optic than the company down the street or than our competition that you might think, oh gosh, a lot of people interviewing end up going to this salon, and why aren't they coming to my salon? And this could be a defining moment when we elevate our conversation. So Um, when it comes to a growth plan for your team, as leaders, because we've probably been doing this a while, we forget to speak into the listening of the people we're talking to. So what do I mean by that? Um, it's it's our job to meet people where they are, if that makes sense. So we need to meet people where they are. We might see a growth path and that we offer this sliding scale or we offer this path of opportunity. But unless we lay it out and we verbally communicate that, and there is visually something to look at, that there is a growth path, you're selling yourself short thinking that the person listening to what you say you're offering is going to think in their mind, oh, wow, I can go from point A to point B in this amount of time, and then from point B to point C in this amount of time. So by the time I'm here 5 years, I could be a six-figure stylist. People are not thinking like that. You might think like that. If they stuck it out long enough, they'd be making so much money. And I used to think that way. Like, I can't believe they're leaving right on the brink of them becoming so busy. It always drove me nuts when people, after 2 years, they get out of their training program, they're on the floor, they're just starting to like go over that wall to where all the clients are coming in and their income's about to change. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Throw me some comments in the feed if you can relate to this. And they're like, can I talk to you? And you're like, oh God, this can only mean one thing. This can only mean that they're quitting. And it always took me back because I saw their potential. But the question is, have we communicated the potential to them? My friend Tom Kuhn from Cunity always says 4 times 4 ways. And I love that analogy. Are we showing them all the time who we are as a company, what the benefits are, and what we have to offer? I remember one team meetings, we call them salon celebrations, that we did with the team. And I thought to myself, I don't think that the staff really get how much we're paying for the benefits for them. I think that they're just hooked on maybe just the like percentage that they're getting paid. And so what we did at this team meeting is we played a game, which was I did on a sheet of paper. Everybody got a worksheet, and on the worksheet, one column were all the benefits that we offered. And I went down and dirty on the benefits. I mean, it was like every little thing from literally, yes, we do offer back bar. We do offer towels. We do offer healthcare. We do offer 401k. We do offer paid time off. We do offer weekly education. We do offer advanced like I wrote all of the things. And on the right-hand column, I put the dollar amount of all those benefits, not on the same line. And they had to draw a line from the benefit to the expense. And to guess how much we were paying monthly for these benefits. And I did it to create a fun way for people to start thinking about what they have. It's easy to forget what we have. And I think as owners, people walking around the world, people in relationships, it's easy to forget what we have. We start taking it for granted because we have it day in and day out. So we forget about all the other little things surrounding the thing that we feel is the most important. That meeting, and I'll never forget that, it was such an aha moment for my team. And so everybody guessed, they drew a line from the benefit to the dollar amount that we paid monthly. And then I put up on the PowerPoint the how much each one of those benefits actually cost. And then we did a debrief. I said, who's surprised at what? And people were shocked at all of it. They're like, oh my gosh, we never thought of it like that. And this isn't like sometimes we want to be like, kind of like even to our kids. Do you know how good you have it? You have a roof over your head and food in the refrigerator and clothes on your back. And I know that we feel like saying that to our staff. Like, do you realize, like, we bring in education, we do that, but that's not the way to talk to people. Is how can we create a self-discovery where people are learning and having these aha moments instead of me trying to shove it down their throat? But once in a while, how can we do a fun reminder? So that's an example of, for our existing team, to remind them of why they even chose you to begin with, to create a sense of gratitude. Not that you want to force gratitude, gratitude isn't forced, but you can remind people in certain ways of the benefits that they have in a graceful way that could be playful and could be fun and could be a reminder where they come to their own sense of gratitude. You could even, on top of that, is survey it to have people rate which ones are most important for them. One through, maybe you list 5 things or 10 things, and really speak to the cost associated with that, and maybe connecting that to why we set goals in our company, why we have retail per client ticket goals, why we have service per service ticket goals, why we have add-on service goals, why do we have goals in general, is so that we can create a sustainable business to be able to continue to offer the things that we offer. We're not just grabbing goals out of the air, but we have these expenses to pay for that nobody knows what goes on behind that office door. When you sit down to pay your bills and you think to yourself, how the fuck am I going to make it work this month? Who's been there? Who's been there? Throw me some comments. You've been there. You might have even thought to yourself, do I have to not take a paycheck this pay period because I have to cover these things that I'm offering that they don't even, no one knows what the struggle is. And I'm not saying our team doesn't come to work for us to know what the struggle is. They shouldn't know that we're sitting in a room struggling. They just shouldn't. What should they know? What should they know is the reasons why we do the things we do. I care about you so much that these are the benefits that I am committed to offering. When we first opened the salon, my mom and I, in 1992, we opened our very first salon. And it was my goal. The reason I even wanted to open a company is because I wanted to do it different and better than the owners that I worked for, where I had no benefits. None. And back then, maybe it wasn't like popular to have all these benefits. But I always thought to myself, why is it that my friends that are going into corporate America get to work for these companies with all these benefits, and just because I'm a hairdresser, I don't get those benefits? And I wanted to make a change in how we ran our business. I wanted to offer healthcare. I wanted to offer a 401k. I wanted to offer ongoing education. I wanted to offer this to people so that they felt they had security. And I did. And we still do to this day, 32 plus years later. But there's a cost that comes with making those commitments to people. And I think that we as leaders get a little bit jaded and tainted too, because we're just trying to pay the bills. People might not be producing at the level we think they should be producing. So we're getting resentful, and then because of our energy, we want to tell them what we're giving them. That's not the place to come from. There is a space that I just talked about to come from, which is when I first opened my business, this is why this was so important to me. This is why we set the goals that we set, so we can continue to create a lifestyle for people that you're currently enjoying. So let's play this game, which is match the benefit to the expense. And let's just see if you guys can see. I want to give you a peek into what goes on in the back room when I am in my office and I'm trying to pay my bills, right? So this is why we set goals. So I did just go off on a little tangent, but I felt like it was important to just go there for a minute. Elizabeth. Elizabeth, thank you so much. What a super sweet comment. I appreciate that. She commented on my Facebook feed. Your commitment to making the salon industry better is unmatched. Thank you for all you do and share. Okay, don't get me all emotional now. I still have work to do. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, guys, let's get back to how do we communicate a compensation package. I want to eliminate the verbiage, you get paid X amount. I want to eliminate that. What if we eliminated that and we started saying, I want to talk to you about what your compensation package includes. And so I wrote some things down, which is why I'm looking down at my paper. But so here are a few things that I personally think should be added to the compensation conversation. Education. Do you offer education in your salon? And does it come in the form of weekly education, advanced education? Maybe you pay a portion of your team's education, whatever it is. If it's one of those things or all of those things, it should be written down in this new document that you're going to create called a compensation package. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add up the value, the annual value of what that is per person in your company. So if you're offering $500 a year as a education voucher, I'm just going to pull that out of my you-know-what. Let's say you say, well, everybody in here, if you hit a certain amount, you get a $500 education voucher. So that would be $500 added on to the compensation package annually. You're offering that. Let's say that you have an education program that you offer, and not only are you paying the staff to be there, but you're also paying the educators to teach. Well, what is the value of the compensation of the education program that team member is going to be going through per person? That could be a $5,000 education program that you are offering that you haven't put a monetary value on. But isn't that a benefit? Is that not a perk that we should add into this compensation package and compensation conversation? Instead of like, you get paid 40% or you get paid this amount. No. What is the value of everything they're getting? So that should be in the compensation package. Let's say you offer health care and or 401k. So whatever those benefits are. So you could have health care benefits, you could have retirement benefits, and you should add up the average amount that you contribute. If you contribute to healthcare, the average amount that you're contributing per year per person should be on that compensation plan. That might be a couple of grand. So now we have a $500 voucher for education. We have $5,000 education program. We have $2,000 in healthcare. That's added to what you're already paying, but we don't talk about these things. And I want to just say, why not? Why don't we talk about these are all the, yes, you could say these are the benefits, but I want to put a monetary value to those benefits on this new document that you better create called a compensation package. So when people start, they have a compensation package. The next thing I have written down is a growth plan. And what I mean by a growth plan is, do you offer some pay scale? Okay, so maybe you say, oh, we start at 36% and go to 46%, or whatever the scale is, right? And we have levels. We have a junior stylist and a stylist and senior and master and art director, whatever you have going on in your business. That should be also laid out is how people can go from one level to the next and what it looks like. Is there a criteria that they have to hit in order to go from one level to the next? And by going from one level to the next, and I think this is an important talking point, let's just say once they hit a certain criteria, they move to the next level. Well, on that next level, they're charging more, and maybe they have a percentage bump in what they're getting paid. So isn't that a double raise? And I love that word. You get a double raise every level you accomplish, right? So a growth plan. When we talk about growth plan, I also want you to have in there opportunity for growth with respect to education director, creative director, outreach director. I mean, what are the different programs that they could go into that could inspire them to stay with your business? If one of our biggest pain points is staff turnover or hiring people because we might not feel that we have a competitive edge, is it not advantageous to us to have something different than what they're going to see down the street? All right. The next thing I have on here, and these are just ideas. You might have one of these or all of these. I don't know, but the point here is that you're taking all of the things that you offer that to you might not be a big deal and you've been doing it forever, and putting a value to that. PTO, paid vacation. Do you offer some type of PTO or paid vacation? This should be a part of your compensation. On average, how much, or for somebody starting off at whatever level they're coming into work with you at, what would their PTO or what would their paid vacation look like? Like, I know, and I will always want to say in our company, but for those of you that don't know, I sold my businesses. So in my previous company that I owned for 32 years, we have 40 hours a week PTO, right? And so what does 40 hours a week mean at your average hourly rate? So that has a dollar value. So that dollar value is part of the compensation plan. So again, instead of just saying, I'm offering you this percentage when you come into work, here is the compensation package that we offer at our company. The other one that I have, this is the last one that I have, again, these are just examples, is any type of a bonus program. So if you pay a retail bonus, I know that previously as an owner, so weird. I got to get my mind around this, guys. We also offered a bonus for extension clients. What does that look like? What does that go up to? What's the compensation for that? And so, I mean, basically, I just named 6 different options or things that you could package so that you could talk about the value of who you are as a company. So it's not only about great leadership that, you know, I feel like I'm a great leader walking around, but does your team understand the value that you offer in your company? And you might already offer these, you just probably aren't talking about it. So what if I say to you, what if you packaged it and your onboarding or your interview, part of your interview agenda is to talk about the compensation package that you offer? Tell me how that feels to you guys out there. So throw me some comments as I scan my notes. So yeah, I mean, my notes say here, I mean, everything that I just mentioned could be $10,000 to $15,000 in value in benefits that people aren't even thinking of, and more. It could be more than that. So I just want you guys to elevate your conversations so that you can capitalize on new staff that are looking for great places to work, that you can set yourself apart from the competition when you are interviewing. And so if we start to hone all these layers, like I talked about in the very beginning, that running our business is like creating a 7-layered cake, and every single layer has to taste great and be perfectly made. So when they're put together, the flavors all match, right? That's like the culture of your cake. So we're talking about the culture of your business. And so I want to make sure that this one layer, which is your compensation and whatever that is, that it sounds rich and delicious and like you don't want to step away from it. That is the goal that I have for you guys. So I hope that this was helpful for you to get your mindset right. I see quite a few of my clients on here too, my coaching clients, and these are things we're working on. These are things that we are currently working on to continue to elevate. You know, the clients that I work with don't come to me when they're in dire straits. Some of them do. for sure. But a lot of them are super successful salon owners that are saying, I want to continue to elevate. Why? Because we have to keep elevating. We have to continue to grow. We have to. And so if you need help doing that, if you're here or listening, whether you're tuning in later or, watching now, you know how to reach me. Good morning, Alita. It's great to see you. Also, you guys, if you have not been over to my Facebook page, jump over there, 11 o'clock today, Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to be on a webinar with some amazing industry leaders talking about how to create a legacy brand. And it's free. So you can go and sign up and jump in at 11 o'clock today. And I'll be there. Deborah Penzone is going to be on there. We have some, like Stacy Sobel is emceeing it from Salon Today. And so it's going to be fun. So I hope you join me over there. Listen, next week I am not going to be here. I'm off with a client in North Carolina doing an in-salon, which I'm super excited about, but I will be back the following week. So I hope that you join me. DM me, throw me some messages, let me know what's going on in your business. And if you want me to speak to that, I'm here for it. I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing week. And if you celebrate, the Jewish high holidays are coming up. So I want to wish you a happy new year. I may not talk to you until then. So I love you guys, and I wish you a blessed week. Mwah. Take care. Bye.